He is a spokesperson of the National Drug Authority. You're very welcome, Ndugu Rwamwiri.
Thank you so much, and good morning to the UBC viewers.
I'm very careful when I'm pronouncing people's names, and I think I've said it rightly.
Very rightly.
Happy to have you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
NDA, going forward, what do you do?
NDA is the National Drug Authority, which is a government statutory agency that is mandated to regulate drugs in Uganda, both human and vet. We make sure through our regulatory mandate, we make sure that the drugs that go onto the market are safe, are of good quality, and efficacious as a way of protecting and promoting healthcare in Uganda.
And you do that very effectively?
We are doing that very effectively. As National Drug Authority, we we emphasize the safety of Ugandans, and where we sit, we are Ugandans. This authority is run by talent of both doctors and pharmacists, who ensure that we look through. We use our mandatory role to protect Ugandans.
Okay.
We have 8 regional offices strategically positioned across the regions in Uganda that are supported from the center at the head office, but also we are present at the ports of entry. So we make sure that the drugs that are manufactured here, we look into them. The drugs that are imported, we scrutinize them before they enter into Uganda.
Okay.
We have a state of art laboratory in Murago, where we scientifically analyze every product sample before it goes onto the market. So we are doing that. To answer your question, we are doing the regulatory role very effectively. But of course, if everything was right, we would close shop tomorrow and go. There are so many challenges, like everywhere. That's why you see police is always on patrol.
Okay.
And just like police, we are always on patrol to make sure that the drugs that we allow on the market are not counterfeited, that there are no people who are doing the wrong thing, from the manufacturer to the consumer. That's what we call protecting the drug supply chain integrity. And we have different directorates that help us to deliver our mandate. We have the Directorate of Product Safety, we have a Directorate of Enforcement, we have a Directorate of Product Registration, and each one of those help us to, one, for registration, it is mandated to make sure that when you're going to bring up a new product onto the market, they scientifically analyze it and look at its scientific information before we can register it or allow it into the market.
Okay.
And then the product safety is when we allow it on the market, we need to follow it, because there is no product made here or anywhere, be in Europe or North America, that is risk-free. So when we release a product onto the market, we have a directorate that follows that product to make sure that it is safe as it was intended through.
Okay.
But also that department is in charge of making sure that the promotion of that product does not mislead the public. That's where you find issues of misleading adverts on drugs. Drugs are special goods that risk, if not used right, the lives of the people, but also that if they are used right, have an important role in improving lives. So we have to make sure that how they are promoted is ethically correct.
Okay.
And that's the department, that's the directorate of product safety that is dedicated to that. Then we have a directorate of enforcement that ensures compliance when we put out the product onto the market, and issues of counterfeit. These guys are always out on surveillance to make sure that there are no counterfeiters, there are no illegal drug outlets, because we, as National Drug Authority, we are mandated to register or authorize drug outlets where drugs are going to be sold, pharmacies and drug shops. So the Directorate of Enforcement goes around to ensure that there is compliance, and that's how we've been able to keep the drug supply chain safe for Ugandans. And like I mentioned, we do that job day and night. It is not going to stop tomorrow, because the wrongdoers, unfortunately, are not going to stop.
They never go to sleep.
But also, the demand for the new product is always on the increase, and that's why, as National Drug Authority, our relevancy is very, very key.
Well, that's very important. Just before you digress into the other issues, let me look at your inter-agency corporations or the inter-agency collaborations. For example, what is NDA in Nigeria is called NAFDAC, the National, I think it's the National Administration of Drugs and Foods. It combines food and drugs, the Food and Drug Administration Control. It's called NAFDAC. How do you manage it here when you only take care of the drugs and you leave the food bit of it to possibly UNBS, which also I think is a problem here? Do you have any inter-agency cooperations or coordination?
National Drug Authority is an interesting agency. Our top management organ is the authority. We call it the authority, which is made by 21 members. I think it's the biggest board member in the country, and that it touches or is represented by key stakeholders from the guys you're talking about, UNBS. They are on our board. We're on their board.
Okay.
We have national drug, the stores, the medical stores.
National medical stores.
We have different key stakeholders onto the board.
Okay.
But let me answer your question direct. Would it be good to regulate people's, to manage people's health, protect and promote people's health without touching what they eat? Definitely not.
No.
It is very key that, because drugs, the first best drug is what you eat, is the food you eat. If you're able to eat good quality food, you're going to have a good health. And as a National Drug Authority, for the last 10 years, we've been pushing to upgrade National Drug Authority into a National Food and Drug Authority, to have a component of food, because we are concerned. Food is not just,
what we see on the plate.
What you see on the plate. There are issues of the chemicals that go into, for example, the drinks we take, the soft drinks. But also the other key concern for Uganda is the food supplements that our children have. The issues of energy drinks, because most of our energy drinks, if you hear them promoting themselves, they make curative claims. They say they cure this,
they cure that. Exactly.
Now, if you are not, as National Drug Authority, be able to touch such a product and look into it and see how safe it is, you're not doing a service to Ugandans. But unfortunately, currently the mandate is not with National Drug Authority. We've put it, it has, for the last several years, it has been between Cabinet and Parliament. And
to incorporate food,
into the Drug Authority.
Very good.
Recently, we hosted a committee on health, the Committee of Parliament on Health, and they agreed with us that there is a desire and a big, an urgent need to expedite that role, so that we empower National Drug Authority to be able to critically look into the food and the drinks that Ugandans take. It goes even beyond the prepared food. If you, for example, if you look at where in abattoir, where we Rufra, for example, down here,
the slaughterhouses
around. there are concerns that someone goes and injects this cattle with some, drug, and the next day it is sold and is brought down, into a slaughterhouse. And we need to scientifically look into how does that actually translate into the food you're going to eat.
Sure.
So there is definitely a desire, but as National Drug Authority, we are a government agency. We take on what government gives us to look into. For currently, issues of soft drinks, energy drinks are being looked at by National Bureau of Standards. Of course, there has been a debate of do they have too much onto their plate, because they look into almost every other standard issues we have into the country.
Okay. You recently, as National Drug Authority, also red-flagged herbal medicines in this country. Now, if you notice, herbal medicines is now become one of Uganda's unique thing. Everybody is producing something that cures something. We can get this grass and we promote it everywhere that it cures X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, and everything. It's everywhere, on all our TVs, radio stations, and all the things. Are you looking into them, and what are you doing with that, for example?
Thank you so much. National Drug Authority has actually been engaging herbalists for a very long time. But also let me share this with our viewers, that more than 80% of Ugandans, the research shows, use herbal medicine. And according to World Health Organization, more than 60% of the population in Africa uses herbal medicine. So it is not something of yesterday or limited to Uganda. If you look at historically, we've used, our forefathers have used herbal medicine to deal with different ailments. As a National Drug Authority, the law mandates us to look into herbal medicine that goes commercial. So our mandate is, we are interested in when you start producing and promoting herbal medicine for a wider population use. And we've had some concerns of why would National Drug Authority be concerned or about me selling, mururuza, this particular plant to that, which has been used by our forefathers to deal with different ailments. Now, what people don't appreciate is, like I mentioned at the beginning, there is no product that is risk-free, whether it is herbal or conventional. Now, as National Drug Authority, the moment a product, a herbal product, leaves the community setting, meaning if you've been producing it for your children, for your within a community setting, to deal with stomach upset or whatever condition, now that doesn't concern National Drug Authority. It concerns us when it goes into mass production and it is going to leave a community setting, it is going to be advertised and sold massively. Because chances are that when you're producing massive quantities, there are chances that you might dilute the content, the drug content in those herbal extractions you're making, which might make the product less effective, if at all. But also the other danger is that while you're doing mass production, you could actually have a lot of drug extraction and have a high concentrated product which becomes toxic. So as National Drug Authority, we want to make sure there is that balance to make sure the product is safe.
Okay.
And of course, that's what we've been doing with our local herbalists, so engaging them, training them, building the capacity as National Drug Authority. So we are not only doing policing, we also do a supportive role to make sure that our industry goes to a level where it should be. Our desire is that we should have a highly developed herbal sector where you can go and get a prescription and go to a herbal pharmacy and pick this effective herbal product.
Okay. And
so far we have notified over 192 different herbal products. So the attraction and the demand, the attention that is being drawn is just of recent when we have had these viral infections and a few products have been notified.
Okay.
That's when the bigger public has been drawn to herbal. But as National Drug Authority, this is what we've been doing. We've been working and supporting the herbalists.
So you also need to explain to us what you call notification. What is notifying? Now that's that's very important. And secondly, we also see some of these herbal products on the market with UNBA certification. Others even have what they call the ISO certification. What happens when somebody has been notified or certified by the National Drug Authority? What happens to the products? What should the public look out for to actually know that Semacola's product is supposed to be on the shelves?
Now, a notification is a special pass that we give to only local herbal products.
Local herbal products.
Only local herbal products. The reason National Drug Authority thought that it was important to bring up that special pass is because in the last 4 years, past 4 years or so, we realized that our herbal products were not meeting the highest standards we were putting on other imported herbal products from India and across the region. So we said, before if we look at how the product is extracted, the plants where this herbal product has been extracted, if they are known, for example, have been used traditionally, there is literature on these plants, and communities have used them for a certain period. As a National Drug Authority, if you bring the lab studies that you have done as a researcher or as an innovator, we look into that product, scientifically analyze the information, look at the samples you've shared and test them. And if we find that this product is safe and has been produced in good environment, because from testing we also go at your factory and see if you have good manufacturing practices, you're following good manufacturing practices. Do you have a clean factory? Are your equipment good, not going to contaminate your final product and all that? We give your product a pass to be used, but we also, when we are notifying your product, we mention that this product should be administered under the advice of a healthcare provider. But also, we advise that if you want to make any creative claim, you should take your product under for clinical trials. So meaning that by the time we give you that special pass, your product cannot make curative claims. It can only be used as a supportive treatment. What does that mean? It means if my product has been notified, I cannot claim that if I take it, it is going to cure this condition alone. It can only be taken alongside other
as a supportive remedy.
As a supportive remedy. Yes. So
Okay.
that is really what notification is, and the reason was really to support our local herbal manufacturers, while we continue to push them to meet the high standards that we have set for every other product.
Okay, so with notification, do you stamp? What do you do with that? How does somebody tell that this is notified to be on the shelves?
One, the key thing for any Ugandan to know is every product, be herbal or conventional, should be accessed only from registered or licensed drug outlets, drug shop and pharmacies. That is only when you are sure that this product is of good quality, is safe, and is not a counterfeit. Because as National Drug Authority, when we are issuing a license to these drug outlets, we give them conditions, and through our regular monitoring, we are able to know that the products they are selling are those that we have registered or notified, that they are stored safely, as all drugs should be, but also the person who is administering is a qualified person. If you go outside that chain, you are risking your life, you're risking getting an expired drug, a counterfeit, and all that. So how do I know that this product is notified? Get it from a licensed pharmacy or drug shop. And yes, when we give a notification, these guys the manufacturer is given a batch number, and some of them go ahead and actually put National Drug Authority logo. Of course, we discourage them from doing that, because that is a logo that is a patent of National Drug Authority. So we encourage, we require that you put a batch number, which we give you, because that is an identification of the product we have registered or notified. Now, those you find who have UNBS, they should be energy drinks, not herbal medicines. And we are working, we are collaborating with national UNBS to make sure that if you choose to go herbal, then you have to come to us. If you choose to go to energy drinks, then you cannot make curative claims. And we've had already engagements with the Uganda Communications Commission to make sure that any promotion on herbal medicines on media is vetted by National Drug Authority. So we'll be working with UCC to make sure that we put up a fast track system where all the adverts that are going to go onto media are actually looked into, so that we don't mislead Ugandans. Because there is no way you're going to have an energy drink that treats about 20 different elements, that gives you manpower, but at the same time deals with your heart, deals with cancer, and all that. So we also want to make sure that those products that make those claims, we've been doing this. We go and pick some of them off the market and test them, and you would be surprised how some of them are actually contaminated with different chemicals that risk Ugandans.
How cumbersome and rigorous is the process of approving herbal medicines in this country?
It is not a cumbersome process. Just like I mentioned, we have, I want to use this word, bent the law a bit to accommodate our local herbalists, by making sure that your product can actually go into the market before it goes through clinical trials. And there has been issues, discussions, and challenging engagements from some of the medical fraternity members of why are you allowing this product before it goes through clinical trials. And like I mentioned, we as National Drug Authority, when we allow such a herbal product onto the market, we are not saying it is curative. It can't make curative claims, but it is a supportive product. Now, back to your question. We provided, as a manufacturer or as a researcher, you feel you're ready. You've done research into this product you want to bring onto the market. You have undertaken initial lab tests, and you're sure that this product is safe, is of good quality, but also can deal with symptoms of different ailments. You come to us as a National Drug Authority. We have a team that is dedicated to herbal medicine, a unit that only deals with herbal medicine. So they will look into your submission application, and if there are questions that they have and they need your clarification, they will write to you within a week. You should, or 2 weeks, depending. Again, it is on first come, first serve. So we look at the first entry, we give it priority. Within a week, we'll revert you with any questions, and if you're able to answer those questions, we will go ahead and ask for samples and test your product and have it notified. You only need to pay just 10,000 for such a process. Just 10,000 Uganda shillings compared to $300 we charge for products that are imported from even East Africa. So it's we've been trying to support Ugandan herbal sector. I should mention that currently over 75% of our drug needs is dealt with by imports, is met by importation. Now, as an authority, would love to have that percent to go down as a way of creating drug security. So we've been working with both herbalists and conventional manufacturers to make sure that we boost their capacity and meet the drug need of this country. And if there is anything that has told us the reason why we need to improve the capacity of the local manufacturing is, the issue of COVID-19, okay. Where we have had vaccines being hoarded and contained by, the people we rely on. So we've realized that there is of course, as National Drug Authority, we've been challenging our stakeholders that there is a need to have drug security to increase our capacity to meet our drug needs.
Where is Nakotha and Nakri in managing and helping in the administration of herbalists in this country?
So as a National Drug Authority, we don't work in isolation.
Okay.
We have memorandum of understanding with key institutions, including the Center
Chemotherapeutics Institute.
Yes.
Research Institute.
Which is a government research institute. We also have memorandum of understanding with Mbarara University, with Makerere University, with Guru University. These centers have laboratories that help to develop the research of the herbalists and researchers, but also they hope them to test before they come to us. Because for us, even before clinical trials, to test the quality of your product. Because for us, by the time you come to us, you should have reached the level where you're saying, I'm ready to go into the market. And our laboratory is to test how safe this product is. So yes, we work with all these agencies and institutions as centers to support and help our researchers and our herbalists to develop their innovations. And they have been very, very key in helping us achieve that.
Okay, because there are issues that we look into here, especially, when you're making drugs, they have percentages of what chemical is in what particular drug specifically. And you notice that majority of the people who do these things are not scientists, they're not chemists, they're not pharmacists, they're not any of these. Do you look into these? Is this one of the things that National Drug Authority looks into? Because Uganda can wake up in the morning and I start doing anything. Any herbal medicine, I can tell you, I read on the internet, did this, then the other day, I am actually presenting it somewhere. Do you also mind about the qualifications of these people who do these things, or that's not very important?
One of the things, like I mentioned, we have memorandum of understandings with these centers of excellency, and if you are not a pharmacist, that's why we have these centers to help you scientifically develop your product to the level where it is supposed to be. But also what the viewers need to understand, that when you go herbal, then the issues you're talking about of chemicals are out of equation. And that's why as National Drug Authority, we interest ourselves in testing to make sure that you do not mix anything into the herbal product you're going to bring onto the market. Anything we find in is a contamination, and that product cannot pass. So yes, we have created centers where the local herbalist who has no basic training in pharmacy can go and be supported to develop their product. We also encourage them to do contract manufacturing. For example, you could be knowing that if I get this particular plant and mix it with this to this particular dosage, I can treat this particular condition. Now, you might not be having the capacity to set up the factory. So what we encourage such a people to do, or such a herbalists to do, is to enter into contract manufacturing frameworks with established manufacturers where they can have their product manufactured and then they get a share of sales or whatever arrangement you're going to have. So it is not, herbal medicine is not exclusive to a certain class of people who have studied pharmacy or who have this amount of money to set up factories. But as National Drug Authority, we want to make sure that where this product is produced is safe enough or is a conducive environment to ensure that the product that comes out is of good quality.
There's been a scramble for alternatives and solutions during this COVID management period. And the only, what we possibly know, what the world possibly knows is the notification of COVID-X. Are there any other herbal medicines that have also been notified to help us supportive remedies in this pandemic of COVID-19?
Yeah, so far we've allowed onto the market 2 products, COVID-X and Vidicin of Kazire. We are also looking into the one of Guru University. They submitted in the application for notification. But also, if you remember, there is a product of Dr. Nambatia and the colleagues that we notified and directly went into clinical trials. They've been doing well. We want to believe, because we monitor even clinical trials as a National Drug Authority. So far, 3 products have been notified. 2 are already onto the market as supportive treatment. The one is under clinical trial. Another one of Guru University is has submitted and is under review. And there are others that, you know, are the applications. I'm telling you that the ones that are already in mature state. The others that have already put in applications, and we ask them questions, they have either not come through or they are still doing studies. So this is for us a daily job we do. We receive applications, we look into them, ask questions. Some come faster and have their products, you know, passed. Others have to go back into the laboratory to redevelop their product. So but away from the viral targeting products, we have notified over 192 herbal products that deal with stomach issues, ulcers, and sickle cells. So we as National Drug Authority, we congratulate our herbal researchers, our herbalists, and of course now, as you see, this sector is no longer limited to the local herbalists in in Nakasongora or anywhere. We've seen professors come in, the doctors come in to do the research, and that tells you the level of development where this sector is going.
What are acaricides, and why have they raised a lot of concern amongst the public?
I mentioned at the beginning that as National Drug Authority, we deal with both herbal and veterinary products. Now, the issue that we are getting, which is, as we agreed, will be a discussion of another day, is when we are looking at drugs and their safety, we are looking at a product, but there is an issue of practice. For example, when you go to the pharmacy, someone who gives you the product should be a qualified person. Could be a pharmacist, could be a clinical officer,
a clinician or something,
who should have a basic knowledge on how this product
to administer this
product. Now, some of the issues we are getting in the vet sector and that we are dealing with go beyond the product. They are issues of practice. You find that a farmer is the vet doctor to his cattle, and chances are that where they even buy this product, the guy who gave them the instructions has also limited knowledge
on anything
on that. So we've been working. We are working with the Ministry of Agriculture to make sure that we streamline the practice. And of course, there have been issues of the fake products, which the National Drug Authority has done a fantastic job to deal with, to crack a whip on counterfeiters. If you remember the thick ban that was going around in the cattle corridor, we've been able to deal with that. But also, we request the public that if you have any information of anyone doing suspicious activity around acaricides, please let us know, because most of these products are actually being developed and faked on the farm.
Okay, well, we defer the discussion for veterinary to some other day. On your regulation as National Drug Authority, do you revoke, for example, if you give somebody a license to carry on and they have batch numbers to actually give to the products, and you discover that in the process of making these things, they've fallen short of many of these things? Because I know that you visit these sites, you go, you look at the cleanliness, you look at the hygiene, you look at quite a number of things, you look at the machines, how they package, how they do all the things. What about if, because Ugandans are very crafty, they've been accredited, they've been given a license, they've been given a way to operate, then they now deviate from that. What do you do with that when you find them at that level? Do you revoke licenses? Do you punish them? What happens?
I mentioned that we have a Directorate of Product Safety. Now, under product safety, we have a team that does surveillance. We go around in both licensed and non-licensed outlets to areas. Through our intelligence, we will know that somewhere there's a kiosk that is selling this product or that, and we'll go either impound. Of course, if it is an illegal outlet, we'll impound the product. If it is a licensed product that is selling either a suspected expired or counterfeit product, we will get into there and impound. But also the key thing is, to answer your question, yes, we revoke the license, we record products. We, as National Drug Authority, we have the mandate to record whether it is herbal or conventional, imported or locally manufactured, provided we realize that it is risking the lives of Ugandans. That product can be recalled, your license can be revoked if we find that you are faulting, you are not complying.
Okay.
Because that license, when it is issued to you, there are conditions that come along with it that you must follow, again, to make sure that you're producing a safe and a product that is of good quality.
Do you license a company, or you license a drug itself?
We license a product.
A product.
As a National Drug Authority, we are interested into a product. Now, the company is the company name, and that is another government
So the
agency.
license, the accreditation that you give, because you can't give to, I'm only thinking, jargon or Semakola pharmacy or pharmaceutical or medicine or something. Medicinal herbs, X, Y, and Z. But under this, I do quite a number of things. I do in here, there is Chigaji, there is Kazire, there is that, there is that, there is that, there is that, there is hibiscus, there are all these things. Do you license every one of those, or you license me as a making house?
So if you're talking about a drug outlet, when we are going to give a license to a drug outlet, a pharmacy or a drug shop, we give it to a company.
That's for the pharmacy.
That is for a pharmacy.
I'm looking at the producer.
Now, for you as an outlet, the condition we give you, you cannot sell a product that we have not either registered or notified.
Okay.
So that is one. Now, for a manufacturer, when we are going to give you a license, a notification or approval, we approve a product.
Okay.
So, for example, if I have a company, JM, that produces 10 different products.
Exactly.
Each of that product is treated independently,
okay,
and is assessed independently because you're not using the same ingredients. So, as National Drug Authority, we treat a product independently, not as as a company.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Mr. Rwamwiru. Now, time is running up, but just before I let you go, it is even threatening to rain on us in the compound here where we are. What more do you want to tell the people that you think and feel the world and the public needs to know it in as far as drug management in this country is concerned?
I started from the thing of there is no product that is risk-free. So I would like to encourage Ugandans to know that drugs are good if used right and prescribed right, stored right, but can also be dangerous if misused. So we encourage Ugandans to take only drugs that are, procured or got from a clear address. So that if you have a problem, you know that I got this product from so and so, not from a hawker. We should be able to trace the source. So that is number one. The second one is the Ugandans should know that our health is more important than anything else. So before you take a drug, first try to find out what am I trying to treat. Because I mentioned the issues of no product being risk-free, meaning any product has a potential of giving you side effects. So please make sure you first consult with a professional health worker before you take this drug. Because we have this tendency of where you have this pack of drug and it is shared between the household. So the other one thinks he has flu, another one thinks he has cough. A different element that you're dealing with. That is number one. The second one is everyone out there should keep their eyes open against counterfeiters. Because when someone is counterfeiting a drug, they are risking everyone's life. So we call upon the public to be a police of your neighbor. If you see someone who is dealing in a suspicious thing that is related to drug, please inform the police. But also as National Drug Authority, we have a toll-free number. We have a WhatsApp number that is on our website, on our social media platforms, where you can log in and we'll protect your identity and we'll come and make sure we rescue and help that person to be a better Ugandan and protect other Ugandans.
Okay. I want to thank you so much, Ndugu Abiaz Rwamiru.
Thank you
so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, pleasure.
Ndugu Abiaz Rwamiru is a Public Relations Officer for the National Drug Authority, and of course he's been here with us this morning on GME Extra to talk to us more about National Drug Authority and of course what they do out there. Thank you so much, and thank you so much to our viewers out there. We'll stop it here for tonight and just wishing you the very best of another very good week. For God and my country, stay blessed. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Pick of the day on UBC, brought to you by